Silence is the roar of the wise, louder than 1,000 lies. Welcome, chosen ones. The deadliest individuals are those who remain silent, yet see through everything. You are the unseen storm, the quiet force that dismantles the loudest empires. The most dangerous people in this world aren't the ones who scream, argue, or fight to be heard. No, the ones who inspire true fear are those who observe, unflinching and unmoved, as chaos unfolds before them. Like a hawk circling high above its prey, your silence isn't passive, it's predatory. As someone nailed it, silence is a sword sharper than any blade, wielded only by those strong enough to resist the urge to speak. While others waste their strength in empty displays of power, you conserve yours, striking only when the time is right. Theatrics are the weapons of the desperate, but your weapon is your watchful gaze, your ability to peel back the layers of deception with the precision of a surgeon. Every twitch of the lip, every flicker in the eyes, they're as loud as screams to someone who knows how to listen without a single word spoken. And thank you. Yes, you, the chosen one. Whether this is your first time here or you've been a rock-solid force on this journey, your presence and super gifts are what keep this mission alive and thriving. They can't believe you exist, and honestly, that's your power. Your ability to observe, outmaneuver, and intimidate without even lifting a finger is shaking their foundations. If you're ready to embrace your role, rise above their tactics, and claim your unmatched strength, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop a comment with the number 77 to declare that their shock is only the beginning. Let's dive in and make them wonder even more. So, here's a truth the world doesn't want you to know. Most people are an open book. They try to mask their intentions with fancy words and forced smiles, but their bodies betray them. A clenched jaw, a shift in posture, an overcompensating laugh, it all leaks through the cracks. And you, chosen ones, you don't just see it, you feel it. You're not merely observers, you're human seismic detectors, sensing the tiniest vibrations of deceit, weakness, and fear. Your silence is like a mirror. It forces others to confront their own reflection, and they hate what they see. It's not just unsettling, it's humiliating. You make them feel as exposed as a snake shedding its skin, vulnerable and defenseless. They crumble under your scrutiny because they know you've already seen the truth they're trying to bury. Imagine a thief breaking into a house, only to realize the owner is sitting quietly in the dark, watching their every move. That's you. You don't panic. You don't react. You just let them flail and fumble, knowing full well they've already lost. But let's not forget the irony. While they fear you, they'll also mock you, call you detached, cold, or unengaged. But we both know the truth. Their mockery is nothing but a brittle defense against the shadow of their own insecurities. They laugh to hide the fact that they're terrified. You are not a passive witness to the chaos around you. You are the storm's eye, the calm that unnerves, the stillness that breaks. Your presence alone is enough to tip the scales. In a world full of noise, you are silence personified, a force so powerful it needs no introduction. So, why are they afraid of you? Simple. Because they can't outmaneuver someone who's already 3 steps ahead, someone who's not only watching the game, but quietly rewriting the rules. The chosen ones don't just play the game, they control the board. Remember this. Those who speak loudest often have the least to say. The quiet ones, they're the ones rewriting history. And now let's break this down step by step, piece by piece. Trust me, if you're truly one of the chosen ones, you won't just want to stay, you'll feel compelled to. Every word, every insight will resonate with the power you already know you have. Stick with me till the end and watch how it all comes together. Number 1. Reading between the lines. How chosen ones see what others miss. A true master sees not what is said, but what is left unsaid. The chosen ones possess a rare and almost supernatural skill, the ability to spot patterns in people's behavior, intentions and strategies long before others even realize there's a pattern to be found. This isn't guesswork or magic. It's a finely honed ability born from deep observation and an almost instinctual understanding of human nature. While most people are distracted by the noise of words, the chosen ones are silently mapping out the underlying truths. Imagine playing cards with someone who knows your every tell, every nervous glance, every unconscious habit. That's what it feels like to be around a chosen one. They don't just hear what you say, they feel the tension in your voice, notice the hesitation in your words, and watch the rhythm of your movements. Even the silence between sentences becomes a tool they use to uncover what's really going on beneath the surface. Many might wonder, how can they possibly see so much when nothing seems obvious? The truth is simple. Where others see randomness, chosen ones see structure. They recognize the recurring threads of insecurity, manipulation and ambition woven into human interaction. Like a musician recognizing a song from just a few notes, chosen ones can predict outcomes because they've seen the patterns play out before. It's not just about catching someone in a lie. It's about understanding the bigger game, the motives, the players, and the strategies being used. The chosen ones are not just participants in life's game, they're spectators who have already memorized the rulebook. By the time others even realize they're on the chessboard, the chosen ones have already planned 3 moves ahead. Here's the part that truly unsettles people. It's all done so quietly, so subtly, that most don't even realize they're being studied. It's like sitting across from someone who's reading your diary without ever opening it. They see you, not the version you project, but the one you try to hide. When faced with this talent, people often feel exposed, like a magician caught without their tricks. They scramble to cover their intentions, but it's already too late. A chosen one's awareness is like water. It seeps into every crack and leaves no space untouched. Some might say, isn't it exhausting to see so much? On the contrary, for the chosen ones, this ability isn't a burden. It's a second nature, as natural as breathing. They don't chase after patterns, they let the patterns reveal themselves. And this is what makes them so intimidating. It's not a loud, flashy power. It's the quiet dominance of someone who understands the game better than anyone else. They are the chess masters of human interaction, operating in a league that feels untouchable. In a world full of distractions, the chosen ones are the rare few who truly see. They win not because they play harder, but because they see deeper. Number 2. The art of being unreadable. How chosen ones keep the world guessing. To be unpredictable is to hold the leash of power while everyone else scrambles for control. The chosen ones are masters of unpredictability, wielding it like a weapon that keeps their enemies stumbling in the dark. In a world where most people operate like clockwork, locked into routines and predictable responses, the chosen ones break the mold with an intentional fluidity that defies expectations. They're not wild cards, they're tacticians who understand that predictability is the quickest way to lose control. Imagine trying to track a shadow in a room full of mirrors. Just when you think you've pinned them down, they move in ways that completely defy logic. This deliberate ambiguity is what makes them so disarming. People crave patterns. They want to predict, categorize, and control, but chosen ones live outside the lines. This refusal to conform unsettles even the most composed individuals, leaving them unsure of how to react or respond. Some might wonder, why not just stick to a consistent approach? The answer lies in power dynamics. Predictability is a weakness. It gives others the upper hand, allowing them to anticipate your moves and manipulate the situation to their advantage. The chosen ones instinctively understand this. They know that by staying fluid, never letting anyone get too comfortable with who they are or how they'll act. They remain untouchable. This unpredictability isn't chaos, it's calculated. Every move, or lack thereof, is intentional. They may stay silent when others expect a reaction, or laugh at situations that demand seriousness. They might walk away when provoked, or strike unexpectedly when the moment seems calm. It's not about being contrary for the sake of it. It's about being unreadable, an enigma that can't be unraveled. Picture this: a wave crashing against the shore. You can't predict its height, its force, or its timing, but you know it's coming. That's what it feels like to face a chosen one. They are the wave, unrelenting, inevitable, and impossible to pin down. People who rely on patterns, routines, and assumptions are left helpless in their presence, drowning in the uncertainty of what might happen next. And let's be clear, this unpredictability doesn't just protect them, it empowers them. By refusing to fit into society's expectations, chosen ones keep the upper hand in every interaction. They're like a chessboard where the pieces can change roles mid-game. Just when you think you've got them figured out, they shift, leaving you playing by rules you didn't even know existed. It's this aura of unpredictability that amplifies their intimidation. People fear what they can't understand, and they loathe what they can't control. Chosen ones thrive in this tension, knowing that their very presence unsettles the comfortable illusions of those around them. Predictable people are the pawns of the game. The unreadable ones rewrite the rules. Number 3. A sixth sense that leaves the world stunned. Some see with their eyes. The chosen ones see with their souls. The intuition of the chosen ones isn't merely sharp, it's otherworldly. It's the kind of perception that makes others question whether they've just encountered a mind reader or someone with a gift beyond explanation. Their ability to sense shifts in energy, decode hidden intentions, and grasp unspoken truths feels less like a talent and more like an art form. And yet, it's not magic. It's the product of profound awareness and finely tuned instincts. Imagine standing in a crowded room where 1,000 conversations overlap and chaos reigns. Most people would hear nothing but noise, but the chosen ones, they hear the whispers beneath the roar. A glance, a pause, or even the weight of silence becomes a roadmap to understanding. They don't just hear words, they sense intent. They don't just see actions, they feel the currents driving them. You might wonder, how is this even possible? It begins with noticing what others ignore. A fleeting hesitation in someone's tone, the stiffness in a handshake, or the subtle twitch of an eye. These are not random details to the chosen ones. They're puzzle pieces in an intricate, invisible game. Each clue builds upon the last until the entire picture emerges, clear as day. It's more than just reading body language or micro-expressions. It's the ability to feel the undercurrent of energy in every situation. To the chosen ones, a smile isn't just a smile, it's a map of intentions. A slight shift in someone's posture speaks louder than a shouted word. They read the room like an artist studies a canvas, interpreting every stroke, shade, and nuance with startling precision. And this ability is unnerving. People often feel exposed in their presence, like standing under a spotlight that reveals the parts of themselves they'd rather keep hidden. The chosen ones don't need to ask questions because the answers are already written in the air around them. Think of their intuition as a spider's web. When the slightest vibration occurs, an unspoken thought, a fleeting doubt, they feel it instantly. It's not about logic or calculation. It's about trusting the deep, primal instincts that most people suppress. What's even more remarkable is how effortlessly they wield this gift. To them, it's not work. It's simply how they navigate the world. While others fumble in the dark, relying on guesswork, The chosen ones move with quiet confidence, as if they've been handed a secret map. And here's the part that truly mesmerizes. They rarely let on how much they know. Their silence isn't indifference, it's strategy. They understand that power lies not in revealing what they sense, but in choosing the right moment to act on it. The chosen ones don't predict the storm, they feel its first whisper. This intuition isn't just a tool, it's their superpower, a gift that allows them to see the unseen, know the unknown, and walk through life with an understanding that leaves the rest of the world wondering how they do it. Number 4. Turning fear into power, the chosen one's secret weapon. Fear is a fire. For some, it burns them alive. For others, it lights the way. The chosen ones possess a rare alchemy. They turn fear into fuel. Not just their own fear, but the fear they evoke in others. This fear isn't born from malice or aggression. It's the natural reaction to something so deeply misunderstood, so far beyond the ordinary, that it shakes the foundation of those who encounter it. People don't fear the chosen ones because they're dangerous. They fear them because they cannot control or predict them. Here's the truth. Fear says more about the person feeling it than the one causing it. The chosen ones understand this intimately. They know that the discomfort others feel in their presence isn't about who they are, but about the light they shine on insecurities, lies, and illusions. It's as if their mere existence forces others to confront the truths they've worked so hard to avoid. Now, where most people might retreat or soften themselves to make others comfortable, the chosen ones do the opposite. They lean in. They don't shrink back from the unease they inspire. Instead, they wear it like armor, composed and unshaken. Their calmness in the face of fear is not just a skill, it's a declaration of their strength. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm, wind howling, rain slashing down, and yet you remain untouched. That's what it's like to witness a chosen one in the face of fear. It's not that they don't feel the storm, they feel it deeply, but they channel its energy. They use it to center themselves, to grow stronger, to become unshakable. People often wonder, how can they be so composed when everything around them is designed to break them? The answer is simple. They've learned to see fear for what it truly is, a mirage. Fear is a reaction, not a reality. It's a shadow of something that might happen, not something that has happened. The chosen ones refuse to let shadows dictate their steps. What's more, the chosen ones have mastered the art of reflecting fear back onto its source. They don't fight fear with aggression or anger. They let their unflinching presence do the work. Like a mirror held up to someone's deepest doubts, they show others the cracks in their own facades, and that, more than anything, is what makes them so intimidating. But this ability doesn't come from a place of arrogance or detachment. The chosen ones know what it's like to feel fear deeply. They've faced their own storms, walked through their own fires. The difference is they've learned to harness it. Fear doesn't weaken them, it sharpens them. It becomes the fuel for their clarity, their purpose, their power. The chosen ones don't run from fear. They ride it like a wave, turning its chaos into their calm. In a world where fear controls so many, the chosen ones stand apart, untouchable and unshaken. Their fearlessness isn't the absence of fear, it's the mastery of it. And that, above all, is what makes them unstoppable. Number 5. Still waters run deep. How chosen ones turn silence into power. Stillness is not the absence of action. It's the loudest roar in a room full of noise. The chosen ones possess a stillness that is unnerving, almost haunting. It isn't the kind of stillness born from inaction or indecision. It's deliberate, controlled, and razor-sharp. Like a predator hidden in the tall grass, their stillness is the calm before a storm, a calculated pause that speaks louder than any outburst ever could. While the world around them spins in chaos, people scramble to justify, react, or defend. The chosen ones remain unshaken. This ability to stay composed isn't a sign of detachment, it's a form of mastery. Stillness becomes their shield, deflecting chaos, and their weapon, piercing through the insecurities of those who can't handle the weight of silence. Have you ever been in a room where someone's quiet presence felt heavier than the loudest voice? That's the chosen one's power in action. Their stillness isn't passive, it's active domination. When they lock eyes with you or simply sit back without reacting, it feels as if the very air shifts. It's not just unsettling, it's disarming. And here's the secret: their stillness creates a vacuum, one so profound that others can't help but fill it. People stumble over their words, over-explain, or reveal far more than they intended, all in an effort to break the tension. But the chosen ones, they remain untouched, silently watching as their stillness turns into the ultimate psychological chess move. You might ask, how can silence be so powerful? The answer lies in control. While most people are slaves to their emotions, reacting impulsively to every jab or confrontation, the chosen ones choose their moments carefully. Their silence doesn't mean they're backing down. It means they're watching, calculating, waiting for the exact moment to strike, if they even need to strike at all. Their stillness forces others to confront their own discomfort. It's like standing in front of a mirror that reflects not your appearance, but your fears and insecurities. Most people can't bear it. They panic, filling the silence with words that reveal their weaknesses. The chosen ones don't have to fight the battle. They let others defeat themselves. Imagine a battlefield where one side charges recklessly, shouting and swinging their swords, while the other side stands motionless, unmoved, and unafraid. By the time the first side realizes their energy has been wasted, the battle is already lost. That's the art of weaponized stillness. This isn't just about staying quiet. It's about commanding the energy of a moment. The chosen ones understand that silence isn't empty. It's full of meaning, tension, and control. It's not avoidance, it's strategy. So why does their stillness shake people to their core? Because it's a reminder of what true power looks like: calm, composed, and unyielding. In a world where everyone is shouting to be heard, the chosen ones speak volumes simply by saying nothing. The loudest power is the one that doesn't need to announce itself. Number 6. Breaking egos like mirrors, the chosen one's quiet power. The strongest souls are the ones who shine without needing the spotlight. The chosen ones exist on a frequency that most people can't tune into. While the world is busy shouting for validation, clamoring for applause, and grasping at the fleeting high of external recognition, the chosen ones stand still, unmoved, untethered, and entirely self-assured. Their power doesn't come from a title, a trophy, or 1,000 claps. It comes from something much deeper, an unshakable core of self-belief that doesn't need anyone else's approval to exist. For many, this is incomprehensible. How can they not care? How can they not want what everyone else chases? It's simple. Chosen ones don't measure themselves by the world's yardstick. They know that titles fade, applause dies down, and admiration turns to envy the moment someone feels threatened. Why build a house on sand when you can live in the unbreakable fortress of your own self-worth? It's this internal confidence, this calm, quiet certainty that makes the chosen ones so dangerous to those ruled by their egos. In a room full of people puffing themselves up to look bigger, the chosen one doesn't play the game. They don't need to. Their presence alone is enough to eclipse even the loudest, most desperate attempts at dominance. Imagine someone standing in front of a roaring fire, frantically adding more wood to keep it alive, while the chosen one stands with a torch that never burns out. That's the difference. The chosen ones don't need external fuel. They carry their own flame, and it burns steady no matter the circumstances. This isn't arrogance. It's not the loud, chest-thumping bravado of someone trying to prove their worth. No, it's the opposite. The chosen one's humility is what unnerves people most. They don't seek to dominate, but their mere presence has a way of making others feel small. Why? Because people ruled by their egos can't understand how someone can exist without needing the things they crave so desperately. What drives them, if not recognition? The answer is simple: purpose. Chosen ones move through life not for the applause, but for the impact. They don't care if anyone is watching. They only care that what they do matters. This mindset is kryptonite to ego-driven people. It's like holding up a mirror to their hollow pursuits, forcing them to confront the fragility of their own worth, the most unsettling part. The chosen ones don't even try to strip others of their ego. It just happens. Their calm confidence shines a light so bright that it reveals every crack, every insecurity, and every false foundation in others. They don't argue, they don't boast, and they don't engage in petty games. Their refusal to validate the ego-driven makes those people crumble under the weight of their own insecurities. Confidence built on external praise is a tower of cards. The chosen ones are the wind that brings it down. This is why the chosen ones are so feared, envied, and paradoxically admired. Their strength doesn't just shake egos, it erases them entirely, leaving only the truth behind. Number 7. The art of letting go. Why detachment is the chosen one's greatest weapon. True strength is not in holding on, but in knowing when to let go. The chosen ones wield a power so profound that it confounds those around them. The art of detachment. This isn't the cold indifference some might assume. No, this is a wisdom so sharp it cuts through the noise of ego, need, and attachment, leaving them free and untouchable. While others are shackled by the chains of outcomes, validation, and approval, the chosen ones have already walked away from the game. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm but remaining completely dry, not because the rain has stopped, but because you've learned how to rise above it. That's the chosen one's mastery of detachment. They don't cling to victories, and they don't crumble in defeats. Wins are celebrated, losses are acknowledged, but neither define them. Their self-worth is rooted so deeply within that the surface-level turbulence of life barely grazes them. Many people might wonder, how can they not care? Doesn't detachment make them weaker, less engaged? Far from it. The chosen ones care deeply. They just don't let their care enslave them. Detachment doesn't mean apathy, it means freedom. They've realized that clinging to outcomes is like trying to hold water in your fist. The tighter you grip, the more you lose. Detachment is their armor, their invisible shield against a world that constantly demands their emotional investment. People try to bait them with drama, provoke them with insults, or lure them with flattery, but the chosen ones remain unmoved. It's not arrogance, it's mastery. They've learned to separate what matters from what doesn't, and in doing so, they've become immune to manipulation. Picture a puppet master frantically pulling strings, only to realize the puppet has cut itself loose. That's the unsettling reality people face when dealing with the chosen ones. Attempts to control, influence, or destabilize them fall flat because their power lies in their refusal to play along. They observe without reacting, engage without entanglement, and move through life like a river, flowing effortlessly while carving their own path. For the chosen ones, detachment is also a tool of perception. By stepping back from the noise, they can see things as they truly are, unclouded by emotion or bias. They don't just live in the moment, they observe it, understand it, and when necessary, reshape it. But isn't detachment lonely? Some might ask. Not at all. For the chosen ones, detachment doesn't isolate them, it empowers them. They don't need external validation to feel whole, nor do they fear the solitude that comes with stepping away from the crowd. In fact, this distance allows them to build connections that are genuine, free of pretense or dependency. This detachment is what makes them unstoppable. They aren't swayed by flattery or crushed by failure. They don't chase validation or fear rejection. They stand on their own, untethered and free, while others are ensnared by their need for control. The truly powerful are not those who control others, but those who cannot be controlled. Number 8. The mirror that shatters masks. How chosen ones force others to face themselves. A mirror doesn't lie, it merely reflects what's already there, and that's what makes it so terrifying. The chosen ones possess an extraordinary power, the ability to make others confront their own truths, not by words or accusations, but by their mere presence. They are like a mirror you can't look away from, forcing you to see every flaw, insecurity, and hidden agenda you've worked so hard to bury. And the most disarming part? They don't have to say or do anything, just existing in the same space is enough to shake people to their core. It's not hard to imagine the discomfort this brings. Picture standing in a spotlight with no place to hide, every imperfection exposed. That's what it feels like to be around a chosen one. They don't interrogate you or tear you down. Instead, their silent awareness strips away the masks people wear, leaving them face to face with the version of themselves they fear the most. Many might wonder, how can someone make me feel so vulnerable without even trying? The answer lies in the chosen one's unshakable authenticity. They carry themselves with a quiet confidence, a refusal to play into the games of pretense and ego. This authenticity is a stark contrast to the facades most people hide behind. It's like standing next to someone drenched in truth while you're cloaked in lies. The comparison is glaring, and it stings. When people encounter a chosen one, they're often left grappling with a strange mix of admiration and discomfort. On one hand, they're drawn to their clarity and strength, yearning for that same sense of self. On the other, they're deeply unsettled by the way the chosen ones seem to see straight through them, laying bare the insecurities they thought were well hidden. It's not uncommon for those around chosen ones to lash out, deflect, or even project their own issues onto them. It's a defense mechanism, a desperate attempt to shift the focus away from their own reflection. But the chosen ones don't falter. They remain unbothered, unmoving, letting the storm of someone else's discomfort rage on. This is what makes their power so unique. They don't have to confront you directly because you're already doing the work for them. Their presence alone pulls the curtain back, revealing what lies underneath. And the hardest part for most, they know the chosen ones are aware of everything, even the things they're too afraid to admit to themselves. Some may ask, isn't that lonely being the mirror everyone fears? But the truth is, the chosen ones don't seek to make others uncomfortable. They simply embody a level of truth and awareness that leaves no room for illusions. For them, it's not about judgment, it's about clarity. A chosen one doesn't expose you, they remind you of what you've been hiding from yourself. In a world addicted to masks and half-truths, the chosen ones are a rare force of nature. They don't need to break you down with words. Their silence is louder than any accusation, and their presence alone will make you face the things you've been running from. It's not cruelty, it's the gift of truth, whether you're ready for it or not. Number 9. Silent kings and queens. How chosen ones reshape power without lifting a finger. True power is not taken by force, it is surrendered by those who underestimate silence. The chosen ones don't claw for power like those scrambling to stand on top of the heap. They don't need to. Power isn't something they seize, it's something others unwittingly offer them. It's not through aggression, manipulation, or flashy dominance that they rise above. It's through the quiet, undeniable force of their presence. While others play tug-of-war over control, the chosen ones simply let go of the rope, stepping back to observe the chaos. Their refusal to engage in petty power struggles is what makes them so dangerous. People expect resistance, expect a fight, and when they encounter none, they falter. They've been outmaneuvered before the game even begins. You might wonder, how does someone take power without even trying? The answer is simple yet profound: by understanding human nature better than those who crave control. The chosen ones know that most people are so desperate to feel powerful, they'll overplay their hand, expose their insecurities, and reveal their weaknesses in the process. It's like watching a fire burn out of control. The more they grasp for dominance, the more they unravel. Imagine a battlefield where two armies clash, swords drawn and shields raised. The chosen one isn't in the fight. They're on the hill above, observing. They know that battles are won not by brute strength, but by strategy, timing, and precision. While others waste their energy swinging wildly, the chosen one waits, calculating the perfect moment to act, or chooses not to act at all, because sometimes doing nothing is the ultimate power move. Their secret lies in the way they redefine the rules. In a world that rewards loudness, aggression, and force, the chosen ones turn the entire dynamic on its head. They are calm while others are chaotic. They listen while others shout. They observe while others try to dominate. This creates a power shift so subtle, it feels almost invisible until it's too late. It's not just what they do, it's how they make others feel. Being in the presence of a chosen one can be unnerving. Their calmness forces others to question their own authority. Their silence feels heavier than 1,000 words, and their unwavering gaze dismantles the bravado of even the most confident. It's as if they're holding up a mirror, reflecting insecurities back to those who thought they held all the cards. Some might ask, why don't they just take power outright? Because they don't need to. True power doesn't come from force, it comes from influence, from trust, from being the person everyone looks to when the chaos is too much to handle. The chosen ones don't rule like dictators, they reign like gravity, an unshakable presence that can't be fought or ignored. In their quiet mastery, they don't need to fight for power, because power naturally gravitates toward them. The loud fight for thrones, the wise become the gravity that holds the kingdom together. Number 10. Piercing the mask, chosen ones see what others hide. True vision isn't about seeing the obvious, it's about uncovering the truths buried beneath the facade. The chosen ones possess a perception so profound, it feels almost supernatural. It's not just about observing what's right in front of them, it's about seeing through it. Like X-ray vision cutting through walls, their gaze pierces through the layers people use to shield their true selves. Masks, distractions, and facades crumble under their silent scrutiny. When a chosen one looks at someone, they don't just see words or actions. They see the tension behind a forced smile, the hesitation behind a confident tone, the fear buried beneath bravado. It's as if the person's energy speaks louder than their words, and to a chosen one, that unspoken language is impossible to miss. People often ask, how do they know so much when I've said so little? The answer lies in their ability to notice the details others overlook. A flicker in the eyes, the way someone's breathing changes mid-sentence, or even the rhythm of their movements. All of it speaks volumes to the chosen ones. To them, every interaction is like watching a play where the script and the actors are out of sync. They see not just what is shown, but what is concealed. This level of perception isn't something you can fake your way around. It's like standing in front of someone who can read the blueprint of your soul. They aren't fooled by charm or deflection. The louder someone tries to project confidence, the clearer their insecurities become. It's not a game of words, it's a game of energy, and chosen ones have mastered it. Imagine walking into a room filled with noise, chatter, and distraction, yet immediately being able to pick out the one person who's lying or the one person who's plotting. That's the power of a chosen one's perception. While others get lost in the chaos, they sift through it effortlessly, finding the hidden truths like a diamond in the dirt. It's unsettling, isn't it? To feel like someone can see straight through you without needing an explanation. That's why people are so often caught off guard by the chosen ones. They try to bluff, but the chosen ones aren't playing the same game. Bluffing works on those who can't see past the surface, but to a chosen one, every bluff is as transparent as glass. And it's not just about individuals. Their perception extends to situations, environments, and energy. A chosen one walks into a room and instantly feels the unspoken dynamics. Who's in charge, who's pretending to be, and who's holding back their power. They don't need introductions. The atmosphere tells them everything. The truth is, most people spend their lives hiding from others, and even hiding from themselves. But in the presence of a chosen one, there's no place to hide. Their perception isn't just sharp, it's penetrating. It's not just seeing, it's understanding. To the chosen ones, the world is not a mystery to solve, it's an illusion to see through. Number 11. The silent storm, how chosen ones move mountains with quiet influence. True power doesn't shout, it whispers, and still it moves the earth. The chosen ones have a mastery of influence that feels almost like a quiet storm, unseen yet inescapable. While most people try to command attention with bold gestures or loud declarations, the chosen ones don't need to make noise to make their presence known. Their influence isn't about pushing others, it's about drawing them in, slowly, relentlessly, like the tide pulling at the shore. Think of a sculptor carving away at stone, one chip at a time. To the untrained eye, it seems slow, almost imperceptible. But over time, those subtle movements create something powerful, something unshakable. This is how the chosen ones operate. They don't force change, they create it. With every glance, every word carefully chosen, they shift the energy in the room. And by the time others notice, they're already caught in the undertow. So how do they do it? How can they influence without making a single grand move? The secret lies in their ability to read the room, to understand the hidden currents of emotion, power, and insecurity that flow beneath every interaction. While most people focus on the obvious, on words and actions, the chosen ones are always one step ahead, tuning into the subtle shifts that others miss. People may wonder, how do they make it look so effortless? The answer is simple. Because it is effortless to them. Influence is not a skill they force or fake. It's an extension of who they are, like an artist wielding a brush with perfect precision. Their words, actions, and presence create ripples in the fabric of a conversation, setting the stage for change without anyone realizing it's happening. This quiet influence isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding human nature so well that the chosen ones don't need to push, they only need to nudge. Just a word here, a pause there, a gesture that seems small but speaks volumes. Over time, these small nudges create an environment where others begin to align with their vision, their energy, and their direction. While others tire themselves out trying to control every moment, the chosen ones know that real power comes from letting go. They understand that influence isn't about forcing change. It's about allowing it to unfold naturally, without resistance. They are the ones who move the chess pieces with subtlety, setting the board for a checkmate no one saw coming. What's most unnerving is how relentless this influence can be. It doesn't need to be loud or obvious to be effective. It's like water wearing down a mountain, constant, patient, and unwavering. Eventually, the chosen one's presence becomes a force no one can ignore. And once they've made their mark, the room shifts, people follow, and the outcome is set. So, what makes this kind of power so unsettling? It's because it leaves no trace. Unlike those who try to force their will with aggressive tactics, the chosen ones leave no room for resistance. The quiet strength they carry is more powerful than any forceful command. Influence isn't about making waves, it's about setting the tide in motion and watching it carry everything in its path. Number 12. Silence speaks louder. How chosen ones master the power of the pause. True power isn't in the roar of a lion, but in the silence of its stalking. The chosen ones have turned silence into an art form, wielding it like a blade that cuts deeper than words ever could. This isn't the silence of passivity, fear, or indecision. It's the silence of control, focus, and strategy. It's a calculated stillness that can disarm even the most confident adversary. When they choose not to speak, their silence doesn't fill the room, it commands it. Imagine being in the presence of someone who doesn't react when provoked, doesn't fidget when challenged, and doesn't rush to fill the void when the air grows heavy with tension. That kind of silence doesn't just sit there, it grows, stretching the moment into something unbearable for those unaccustomed to its weight. It's like standing in a shadow that grows darker and colder the longer it lingers. People often mistake silence for weakness. They fill it with their assumptions, their insecurities, and their need to dominate the space. But here's the trick. The chosen ones let them. While others scramble to fill the void, the chosen ones are studying, absorbing, and planning. Each pause is a tactical maneuver, each moment of quiet a stage for the opponent to reveal their hand. The power of strategic silence lies in its ability to make people uncomfortable. Humans are wired to seek resolution in conversation. When faced with silence, they often rush to fill it, exposing their thoughts, motives, and weaknesses in the process. The chosen ones understand this instinct better than anyone and use it to their advantage. Picture a game of poker. A player with a strong hand doesn't need to bluff or boast. They sit there, composed, letting the tension build. Their silence alone can make their opponents second-guess every decision. That's the chosen ones in action. They don't need to flex their power. It radiates from their restraint. This mastery of silence doesn't just intimidate, it unsettles. People are terrified of what they can't predict or control, and nothing is harder to control than someone who refuses to react. It's like trying to fight a shadow. You can swing all you want, but there's nothing solid to hit. Some might wonder, why not just speak up? Why let the silence do the work? Because the chosen ones know that words can be twisted, arguments can be countered, and noise can be drowned out. But silence is undeniable. It forces others to face their own thoughts, their own fears, and their own inadequacies. When the chosen ones do finally speak, every word lands like thunder. Their silence makes their voice a weapon, one that cuts through the noise and leaves no room for misinterpretation. The loudest voice in the room isn't the one making the most noise, it's the one commanding the most attention. The chosen ones understand that power isn't always about saying the most. Sometimes it's about knowing when to say nothing at all. Silence in their hands becomes not a void, but a force, shaping every interaction to their advantage. In the end, it's clear. The chosen ones are not defined by what they say, but by what they see, sense, and strategically withhold. Their silence is not empty. It's a force that shapes the world around them. While others struggle to assert themselves through noise, the chosen ones remain steadfast, quietly rewriting the rules of the game. If you feel the pull of this power within you, it's time to embrace it fully. smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop number 77 in the comments to claim your strength. Share this with someone who needs to awaken their inner chosen one.